Damn, this is, I think, a real definition of a riced car. It's not an Evo. I know. There's nothing normal about this. That's another good one. I don't understand some people. Hey, somebody back me up. Who do you think you are? A leprechaun. This guy's a troll.
This is actually a base model Lancer.
How's it going, guys? I'm making this video today because it's not something I necessarily want to do, but it's something that I feel like I kind of have to do. I received and responded to a comment that I got today, and I just felt that this was kind of the final straw and that I needed to give some input in this problem. The crazy amount of hate and toxicity in the car community. So this is my channel. If you're not new here, then I'm sure you're pretty familiar with it. And yeah, I just wanted to take the time to go over some of the hate comments that I've gotten, and I'll explain a little bit later and how I've separated it into two categories of hate comments. And I just want to go over them and talk about what works, what doesn't work, and just overall understanding why the person needed to feel like they had to comment that. So I want to first start off talking about my Lancer SE. This is my first Lancer that I owned. So at the time, if I scroll down on my Instagram, I have a picture of the Lancer SE. Let me just take this picture as an example. Looking back, it looks very bad and cheesy. I had a kind of like a DIY garden edging thing that I thought was cool at the time, and put this on the underside of the bumper. I had the canards that I made. I had the plastic fender skirts, the mags, and I made my own kind of little stickers on the hood that made it look like an Evo. Not look like an Evo, but like gave that style, I guess you can say, as well as the full out ABS Evo wing. It's not a real one, it's a fake one, but Evo style wing. So where does hate in the car community come out for this? Hate in the car community was a big problem with this car for me, because as you can see, this is the parking lot of the school that I was in at the time. And what would actually happen, it still disappoints me to this day. It happened 2 or 3 times where I would finish school, 5, 6, whatever time it would be. I would walk back to my car, and I would see that somebody or a group of people had kicked off these canards, kicked them off the car, completely ripped off the car, and completely ripped off this, I'll say this lip that I made on the car, completely ripped it off, and in some cases stole it, ripped it off, completely vandalized my car. That happened to me 2 or 3 times. I'm pretty sure it was 3 times. The campus security was completely useless. Didn't make any efforts to stop it, or a single effort to find the video of who did it. But that's not really the part that bothered me. The part that bothered me is that somebody vandalized my car. It's unacceptable. And looking back, yes, this car, I guess you could call it kind of riced and not very up to par in terms of quality of modifications. But whose place is it to not only insult the car? I didn't really get a whole lot of insults at the time because I didn't have any presence online. Not that I do now, but even less at the time. And it just blows my mind that somebody could be so crude and disrespectful towards something else that somebody has poured time and effort, and they can clearly see that. I'm even speechless right now because I still can't bring myself to think at what would motivate somebody to vandalize somebody else's car. It's insane. Anyways, that was my worst experience in terms of vandalism. I mean, that was my only experience in terms of vandalism. But that's not the only thing that I want to talk about here, because the more relevant thing that I want to talk about is the comments that I've been getting. And while I do get, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this as like a plead for don't send me comments, don't send me bad comments, because I get a lot of nice comments on my channel. I get tons of comments that say, hey, love the videos, keep up the good work, I tune in every week. And I get people DMing me on Instagram all the time asking me for advice for things that they can do to their Lancers, or advice that I have for anything, literally anything related to Lancers or decision making. I just get flooded with positive comments all the time. Then there's the negative ones. Now, for negative comments, there's a few things that go on here. There's negative comments that contain reinforcement, and then there's negative comments that are explicitly hate and toxicity in the car community. And I still think it's a special breed of people that feel the need to do this. And it kind of makes me a little bit sad, because you can see that this is a project that somebody's been working on and has put some time into, and insulting them, insulting their creativity, insulting the work, and undermining the amount of effort that they've put into something, a project, doesn't have to be a car, is just morally wrong. And you're a really crappy person for doing that. So in terms of this car, this is my Lancer GTS now. I feel the need to explain it, because a lot of people were mind blown by the STI logo there. That was there as a joke. Toyota logo was there as a joke. That was an ongoing joke with a friend that I had, actually several friends. That was there as a joke. And if I scroll down, why do you put a Toyota badge on a Mitsubishi and STI is only for Subaru? I didn't know that. Thank you for commenting that. But those aren't the comments that bother me. This is I mean, understandable. But it's things like this. Also, this is a kind of moderate one. This is what I call a troll Lancer. Or even this one. Damn, this is, I think, a real definition of a riced car. I mean, he said looks good though, but like, these are kind of light comments that are kind of like little chips at the old shoulder. They're not, I wouldn't call them relatively, I wouldn't necessarily call them absolute hate comments. There's nothing normal about this. That's another good one. Here are some other ones. You get nice old ricer. Those are good. Meme car, rice. Nice ricer, rice. It's all rice. With the rice emoji. I would call the tires more of an upgrade than most of what you've done. Rust equals cheap on coilovers. Mods more like personalized. Not trying to hate, but this was a letdown. Let me diagnose this one by one. Tires more of a mod than anything you've done. Okay. Rust equals cheap on coilovers. No. Rust equals I live in Quebec and we have bad winters and we have salt on the roads. Mods more like personalized. I mean, the car had aftermarket spark plugs, injectors, intake, exhaust. It was tuned. I mean, those are mods. I'm pretty sure those are mods. I mean, if it was a letdown, what are you expecting? It's a base model Lancer. It's not turboed, or like, it's not a tuner car. So I mean, what do you want from me? Even for some other modifications I've done, it's not an Evo. I know. Rather have paid $600 than to have that on my car. This is another kind of category of comments that bothers me but doesn't bother me. It bothers me because, I mean, man, that looks like trash, my dude. But then there's still the element of truth to it. Spend some extra time and do it right. See, these comments, I don't actually mind, because they're kind of giving me a criticism, but it's relatively constructive at the same time. Because, I mean, he's not just saying, hey, looks like bad, you suck, your car's ugly. He's saying, spend the extra time and do it right. Which is valid. That project was kind of rushed, and looking back, it was, it's better than just saying pretty bad, let's be honest. When that guy commented saying that my mods are all personalized and that they're a waste of time and that they don't contribute to anything, just want to put a tribute to this video that I made about shooting flames out of my tuned Lancer GTS. I don't think that you can do that unless you have some kind of performance-oriented mods on your car. This isn't any kind of flex in any way, but this is like, you're roasting my car because you're making it sound like I'm the only one that thinks it's modified. And it's not. I know it's not a built engine or anything like that, but like a little bit more credibility would be nice, because there's still a lot of time and effort that went into this car. And as you can see, the thing's NA and it shoots flames. Like, this is a video where I talked about performance upgrades you can do to your car. Wasn't flexing anything. Was just explaining. This is mods you can do for this much horsepower. This is what I did. This is what you can do. This is the gains you can expect to get from any of these things for your naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. And some guy feels the need to comment, yet my Ford Mustang is more expensive and better than your car, and straight out of the manufacturing line. Plus it costs in the 6-digit figure. Though for my daily car, when not taking my car to classic car shows, I use my brand new Ford Kuga PHEV 2.5 ST Line X 2021 Reg. What are you doing? I'm presenting modifications you can do to make your car go faster. I'm addressing the issues of why I haven't blown my car up with nitrous. And you're trying to flex that your 6 or 8 cylinder is faster than my 4-banger. Go hug your mom. I'm older than you, and I guess your dad never loved you, or your mother. I guess your dad walked out on you. And then I said, this guy's older than me, and he's hating on me, saying that his 6 or 8 cylinder Mustang is faster and better than my 4-cylinder base model Lancer. I don't understand some people. Hey, somebody back me up. Who do you think you are? A leprechaun. This guy's a troll. And the last comment that I'll address is one that actually happened today. Well, that I responded to today. Somebody said, bruh, your car's a joke. All you have are fake vents on your stupid and cheap looking car. You're disrespectful to anybody that doesn't agree with you, your channel, blah, blah, blah. So I had a few problems with this comment because, for a few reasons really. First one, actually I'll just read my response. I said, I'm just disrespectful to people who project hate in the car community. The car community is extremely toxic because of a handful of people who have no respect for the hard work and time of other people and insult their projects, project hate and deconstructive criticisms. If you've actually used your little brain, go look at some comments. I get tons of positive comments as well as some negative ones too. I enjoy receiving criticisms because they help better my channel. I appreciate and welcome these kinds of comments. An example of this would be, hey, it's pretty cool that you've spent all this time modifying your car. However, it's not really true to itself because all the mods you have are kind of fake. Or another one is, your videos are clickbait and don't contain any content relative to the thumbnail. And for me to explain this, let me just say that, like, these are constructive criticisms because there's a difference here. Calling my car fake because I have parts off of an Evo on my base model is one thing, and saying that you don't like it because of that is one thing. That's fine. That's not hate. But like when somebody pops onto the channel, hey, saying like, oh, fake vents, stupid cheap car, like, I don't know, maybe tell me if I'm out of line here, but that seems like that's just a lot of unnecessary negativity. And in terms of what he said over here, I'm disrespectful to people who don't agree with me. Obviously, I'm not roasting every single person that leaves a negative comment on my channel. There's a lot of people that say, like, hey, I like this, I didn't like this. I'm not going to flame those kind of people. The only people that I flame are the disabled people like this who say, oh, your car is stupid, cheap, it's a joke. Don't provide any context, just insults with nothing out of it. Like, there's no sustenance there. It's not helping me. It's not helping you. It's not helping the viewer. It's not helping anybody. It's just a hate comment. It all comes down to respect. You don't have to like what somebody else has done. You don't have to agree with it. But appreciate the work that they've put into that project. Appreciate that they thought it was cool. They thought it was worth putting the time in. They spent the money on it. Say, hey man, I don't necessarily like it, but I think it's really cool that you did that. I can appreciate and respect the time that you've put into that project. It doesn't take a lot. It really doesn't take a lot. Share this video with somebody who's had hate projected onto them in the car community, or somebody that you think would find this interesting.